Hey guys, we're going to take a look at the first quarter summative review. So we're getting ready for our QSE, our quarter summative exams. So the first one, we're looking at fraction 1/2, 3/8, 7/16, 5/16. So we are looking to see which one of these is in order from least to greatest. So we need the least on the left and the greatest on the right. And we're going to check and see, is that a factor of fib that these are in order? So the first one, we have 1/2, and we already started dividing that out. 1/2 is equal to half a dollar, which is 50 cents, or 0.50, 0.5. So we're just going to check these right here. So that's 1/2 is 50 cents. Now if we check 3/8, 3 out of 8 is a little bit less than half of 8. Half of 8 would be 4, and 3 divided by 8 is going to be under 50%, which is about 37%. We can check 7/16. 7/16, we're just going to focus on the first two place values. So 7/16, 7 out of 16 is only about 43%. So if we check them already, we went from 0.5, then we went to 0.3, and then we went to 0.4. But out of all of these, 50 hundredths is not the least. 50 hundredths is already, it should be over here. 1/2 seems to be the greatest. So the list of fractions is in order from least to greatest. That would be a fib. The fact would have been we started with our smallest number, and let's check and see what that is. So we got 5 divided by 16. So that's 0.31. Then we got 15 divided by 32. 15 30-seconds, which is 0.46. And then the last one, 9 divided by 32, 9 30-seconds, which is 0.28. So out of all of these, 50 hundredths is the greatest, and 28 hundredths is the least. So this should be 9 30-seconds, and this should be 1/2 over on the other side. So just doing our fraction to decimal conversions and then putting them in order from least to greatest. So for the second one, it says the sum of the gray cards should be more than the sum of the white cards. So let's check and see if we have more over here. So if you look at the gray cards, it looks like we have more negatives than we have with the white cards. So let's put our negatives together. So 5 negatives and 8 negatives is going to give us 13 negatives. And then 12 positives and 4 positives. Once we put those together, we're going to have 16 positives. So 16 positives and 13 negatives. If we take a look at it, positives and negatives are going to cancel. So we have opposite pairs. Opposites mean we're going to subtract 16 minus 13, which is going to give us 3 more positives than negatives. Here we got 6 and 7, which is 13. 3 negatives and 1 negative together, which is going to be 4 negatives. So we look at our integer sign. We have more positives than negatives, and they're opposite, so we're going to subtract 13 minus 4, which is 9, and we have more positives, which is positive 9. So go back to the statement. It says the sum of the gray cards is more than the sum of the white. The sum of the gray cards is 3, which is not more than 9. 9 is greater than 3. So this is a fib as well. So the numbers below are equivalent. So if we check our fraction, 4 divided by 5, 4 fifths, 4 divided by 5 is going to be 0.8, 0.8, and then we have 0.08. Then we need 80%. So convert our decimals to a percent. 1, 2, that's 80%. And then we have 8 hundredths, which is 1, 2, 8%. We have 80%, 80%, and then here we have 8%. 8% and 80% are not going to be the same thing. So this is also a fib. 42% written as a fraction. 42%, the percent takes both of these little zeros here, and then we make a fraction out of it. So 42% means 42 out of 100. So we need to check and see, is this fraction the same as 42 out of 100? So we set it up as a fraction out of hundredths. Use our multiples of 100 to help us get there. 50 times 2 is 100. 21 times 2 is 42 out of 100. And 42 out of 100 is 42%. So this is a fact. 42% written as a fraction is 21 over 50. Simplified, that is true. So Britt placed a red point on the graph at -2, +1. So we need our ordered pair where x and y are going to go on the coordinate plane, x first, then y. So we're going to go x, -2. And then we're going to go y, +1. So this point should be over here, but Britt placed a red point on the graph at -2, 1. This is +1, -2. So that's +1, -2. It looks like Britt mixed up the x and the y. They're backwards. So this is a fib. The right triangle has 3 points. So we look at the first point, make sure that we're graphing x and then y. So +4, +2. We're going to go over +4 and then +2, place a point. Looks good. +4, -2. +4, -2, place a point. Looks good. And then -2, -2. Negative x, negative y, place a point. So the right triangle does have 3 coordinates. Check, check, check. So that is a fact. Point A of the right triangle is located at +5, -2. We're going to go here to we're going to go here to A, find our x, find our y. So x is -2 and y is +5. X is -2 and y is +5. Point A is located at +5, -2. Those are backwards. So it looks like the x and y are mixed up. So this is a fib. So the below expressions are equivalent to the fraction 3/5. So we have 3/5. Let's use our strategy for creating equivalent expressions. Move 3 inside, and then move 3 to the front for the symbol form 3 divided by 5. So our first expression, 3/5 is equal to 3 divided by 5. 5 divided by 3, 3 divided by 5, these are backwards. That's not equal. That's not the same thing. 5 divided by 3 is not the same as 3 divided by 5. Now let's check the other one. 3 should be inside, 5 should be outside. These are backwards. So these are not the same expressions. This is a fib. The below expressions are equivalent to 7/8. Let's check and see. 7/8, 7/8, use a strategy. Now let's check. 7 is divided by 8. Yes. 7 goes inside, 8 goes outside, 7 is divided by 8. Yes. So these expressions do mean the same thing and they are equivalent. That is a fact. And the last one for the review, we have negative 10 times 2. 10 times 2 is 20. And there's one negative, so our answer is negative 20. 40 divided by 2 is 20. There's one negative for multiplying and dividing, so our answer is negative 20. Negatives plus negatives means all the negatives go together. 13 negatives, 7 negatives is going to be negative 20. And the last one, make sure that when we subtract integers, subtracting integers means we are adding the opposite. Add a line, change the sign. So 16 negatives and 4 negatives, 16 negatives and 4 negatives all together would give us 20 negatives. So there are 4 different expressions. All of them do equal 20. That is a fact. Okay, so make sure you click turn in. And thanks for joining us for the quarter 1 summative exam review.